This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
We started it because of a confidence and a hey, I need you to know how to defend yourself, but it's given them way more than that.
Kids have been bullied is a timeless story, but now kids are taking self-defense classes to better protect themselves. Are kids learning to grapple and strike the same as learning to catch a ball or a pass? Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Conan. Welcome to ABC7 at 7. We'll have more on bullying and self-defense in a moment, but first, our top 7 stories at 7. Irma may be gone, but the rain is creating a new danger and more damage in the Arcadia region. Kevin Fry joins us live tonight along the Peace River.
Yeah, we're about a quarter mile or so from it, but you really can't tell. Water here coming up to the edge of my boots about 1.5 feet deep, and it just gets deeper. If you want to take a look down this way, that Mack truck, it's up to its grill in terms of how higher that water is, and that van, you can't even see the wheels. Now, we're in front of the Peace River campground. It's usually a mile-long stretch right alongside the river, some prime real estate there. Today, the river has consumed it, instead taking over this campground. People had to use boats and whatnot to get back in. Now, the water's also taking over some of the roads around here. It's caused some traffic backups throughout the day, as we saw. In fact, it's also causing some damage to cars. One woman from Fort Myers, apparently, as she went through some of that high water, it caused some issues to her vehicle. She needed to get some help to just get home. Of course, not just roads as well, but also communities. The tributaries of the Peace River also overcoming their banks, pushing water into homes and nearby houses as well. So a lot of damage created here, a lot of new problems for this community as well as they continue to wait out for this water to begin to subside. As we've been standing here throughout the day, it seems like it only got deeper, not any lower. We also saw, as we were driving over this way, my photographer pointed out the Myakka State Park. It seemingly had also had a lot of patches of water that were a little higher than usual, so also some flooding in that region as well. But again, it's now just a waiting game here, folks waiting to see this water subside. As one gentleman told me, they may have avoided the wind, but water damage, they did not. Reporting in Arcadia, I'm Kevin Fry for ABC7 News. Alan?
Kevin, thank you. The lack of power has also become a serious problem at The Haven, a group of residential homes in Sarasota for those with disabilities. ABC7's Rick Adam joins us live with more. Rick.
Yeah, Alan, they've been without power here since Sunday morning, so it's time to get this power up and running. It's a facility. They have residential units with folks with disabilities, so it's really urgent to get power on here. I'm now joined by one of the workers who, just like the residents, is going through having no electricity and no power, and it's Carol Jones. And Carol, what exactly do you do here?
I'm a lead direct care staff here at The Haven. I take care of the residents here with their daily living. We go on outings, like any normal living that, they do the same things that we do.
And what has it been like to have to work in conditions like this?
Oh, it's been really hard. We've been working really long hours, trying to make the residents as comfortable, as possible. We do a lot of stuff in the community, but we've been doing extra stuff, and a lot of people have been reaching out to us, since we've been living in this condition. Today I had to go do laundry at a laundromat because the resident needed clothes, clean clothes to wear and stuff. So it's been really rough.
Yeah, it sounds pretty tough. And for the residents, how are they holding up with all this?
Well, for the most part, they making the best of it, and we just doing our best to make them as comfortable as possible, as we, go through this.
Okay, and I would assume the only way they're getting power right now, you could hear the generator in the background. The generator, that must be just nonstop.
Yes, it's been nonstop. We've been, having people fill it up in the middle of the night, our overnight staff. We have it operating the refrigerators and the freezers and some fans, to try to keep us cool and stuff. So.
All right, well, hopefully help is on the way. Carol Jones, thank you, and keep up the great work here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's one of the workers, Carol Jones. She is here at The Haven. And I just wanted to mention we have reached out to FPL, and hopefully we'll be getting some good news here soon so these folks can get the power on very, very soon. Reporting live from Sarasota, I'm Rick Adams. Alan, back to you.
Rick, thank you. Myakka is also having a huge problem with water. Storm drains and area rivers are being overwhelmed. As ABC7's Bo Bethia shows us, there are concerns about massive flooding east of I-75.
I'm in Mayaca at the Hidden River community, where Code Red has been issued. Now, Sarasota County officials tell us Sarasota Sheriff's deputies were going door to door, knocking on homes, telling people about a possible flood danger. Now, the issue at hand is the National Weather Service has issued flood warnings saying that the Mayaca River could crest at 10.5 feet. Now, if that happens, it's going to put a local dam in danger because that dam could flood its banks and then impact the homes in this community. Now, there have not been a mandatory evacuation ordered, but officials are ready, or residents are ready, to go to a local church just in case. Now, we're going to continue to monitor this situation just in case that dam does overflow its banks, but there has been a pump installed to try to decrease the amount of flow that is going to that dam. But again, with flood waters tending to increase, if that crest does happen at 10.5 feet, it does put that dam in danger. But once again, no mandatory evacuation has been ordered, but residents are ready and prepared to evacuate to a local church just in case things do begin to flood. Now, we'll continue to monitor this situation and bring you more updates as we get it. Back to you.
Thanks, Bobeth. Congressman Vern Buchanan and other members of the Florida congressional delegation held a 45-minute conference call with FEMA today to talk about the federal response to Irma. Yesterday, the congressman toured the Suncoast by helicopter.
We did a helicopter tour down to South County, Sarasota, to the northern part of Manatee County. We've seen some flooding in Mayaca, homes that were underwater. That was probably one of the biggest issues, but we've also a lot of roofs. Some of them are completely blown off. And then I guess the whole thing, big part of our economy is our beaches. We've lost a lot of the beaches up and down the coast to beach erosion, but I think we'll have access to dollars to put them back the way they need to be. And so especially when you look at a beach like Lido, was already under risk. It's even more so at this point. You got buildings almost in the water, so especially at high tide.
And tomorrow, President Trump will tour hurricane-devastated Naples. The cost of Irma is rising, already $250 million so far, and the final tally will likely surpass the amount spent on Hurricane Matthew last year. One of many areas being a very expensive rebuilding process is Naples. Meanwhile, Governor Rick Scott is seeing the flooding firsthand. He toured the Clay County area today, where many homes are underwater. If you have a parent or a loved one in an assisted living facility, this is your worst nightmare. At least 8 people are dead at the facility in Hollywood. Police say the deaths may be related to the loss of power during Hurricane Irma. A criminal investigation is now underway, and police are not ruling anything out. Local media is reporting the facility's air conditioning had been out since the storm struck. 115 people were evacuated from the facility Wednesday morning. More than 4 million Florida customers remain without electricity statewide. In simmering hot temperatures and high humidity here on the Suncoast, the number of people still without power is going down by the hour. Florida Power and Light crews have been working day and night trying to get those lights back on, and they are succeeding. Just 2 days ago, 60% of Sarasota County was without power. Today, it is down to 30%. Right now, FPNL reports around 80,000 customers in Sarasota County are without power. Manatee County reports more than 55,000 still without power. Charlotte County is down to about 40,000 outages. DeSoto County has a little more than 6,000. Cities and counties are working together to restore water service as well. Multiple boil water notices have been issued for certain areas where the water is still not safe to drink. For a list of those boil water advisories, just go to our website at mysuncoast.com. Now let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with our first alert forecast. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. We are watching the rivers rise and continue to do so. It looks as though as high as they're going to get right now into the Peace River, which is over 18 feet high. The actual flood stage is at 11 feet, so you get the picture, over 7 feet above flood stage right now, and that's some of the highest flooding that we have seen there along that river. That Peace River extends all the way up into Polk County near Fort Meade, down to Wauchula and Arcadia. And then we have other tributaries, if you will, near the Horse Creek also flooding. We're expecting it to go below flood stage just after 11 o'clock in the morning on Saturday along the Peace River, but so still flooding will persist up until then. We have the Myakka River at the Myakka State Park flooding. We have the Manatee River at the Myakka Head and also at the Rye Bridge flooding. And as I mentioned, Horse Creek going on as well. Well, some rain was around in the Gulf, but that has since moved on, and we're not looking at much this evening. It looks as though we're going to see a quiet night. We've had 2 nice days for the cleanup, and that's a rarity. You don't normally get that after a hurricane moves through here in Florida. Typically, a lot of showers and thunderstorms even continue after the storm has moved on through, but not the case lately. They'll be back tomorrow. A little bit of activity expected to be back tomorrow, but right now the Van Wezel webcam showing fairly nice conditions out there right now. Some sun and some clouds mixed at this point. And as far as our current conditions go, we do have sunny skies, 83. But that heat index for folks who are out there without any air conditioning, pretty tough, 90 degrees right now. Alan?
And still to come. School is out this week, but when kids return, they will be dealing once again with an age-old problem, bullying and self-defense.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential. There's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline. If you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death, you must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
It's a lot of fun. You got to come out.
We come down from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
Physical attacks and bullying, that's the reality of what is happening inside schools across the country. Now some Suncoast parents are saying enough is enough and enrolling their kids in self-defense classes. ABC7's Jess Dowdrick explains how these techniques is empowering students to stand up to bullies.
It happens most frequently to middle schoolers, but kids can be bullied at any age. Most students say if they haven't been bullied themselves, that they've seen one of their friends get bullied. So parents are enrolling their students in self-defense classes that are spread throughout Sarasota and Manatee counties. So much so that these classes are now just as popular for kids as they are for adults.
Mandy Sands wanted her sons, Daniel and Kyle, to learn discipline and self-defense, so she enrolled them in jiu-jitsu classes at Gracie Bradenton.
We started it because of a confidence and a hey, I need you to know how to defend yourself, but it's given them way more than that.
Daniel was forced to use his self-defense tactics one day after he and his friend were being bullied, locked in a school bathroom.
Daniel was trying to talk the kids into letting them out. They were both sort of being verbally assaulted, if you will, and his one friend really started getting very anxious, was crying a lot, and that just led to a lot more bullying. And the kids didn't know this, but they were really picking on the one kid's mother. Turned out that she was dying from cancer, and they were making a lot of fun about her hair and hair loss. Nobody knew that at the time, so they didn't really know that what they were saying. But Daniel realized that him and this kid weren't getting out of that bathroom without doing something.
So Daniel eventually used a jiu-jitsu move, putting the bully in a rear naked chokehold. Daniel and his friend made it out of the bathroom, and Daniel immediately went to the principal's office to report what happened.
I told him how proud I was of him, that, you know, in my book, not only did he defend himself, but he defended another child who wasn't able to defend himself, and he did exactly what I, as a parent, wanted him to do.
Daniel learned jiu-jitsu at Gracie Bradenton, which sits right off of Route 70.
The teenagers and the kids today, they're ruthless.
He's one of about 25 kids in the program right now, learning the same basic techniques that adults do.
Almost every parent that we get in, they tell us that their kid was getting bullied, or that they want to prevent their kid from being bullied.
So at Gracie Bradenton, kids are taught jiu-jitsu and how to defend themselves if they're in any kind of violent situation, bullying or not. The techniques take size out of the equation during a fight, instead using leverage and technique.
This is why a smaller, weaker person can win a fight against a larger, stronger opponent in jiu-jitsu, because we use our whole body against the person's one limb.
Eventually, these techniques become second nature to kids who can use them if they need them.
When it comes to self-defense, we teach more than just techniques. I mean, we try to teach situational awareness, because knowing what's going on around you is probably the biggest thing that you can do to prevent things from happening in the first place.
A few miles south off of Clark Road in Sarasota County, Jayco's Boxing has a slightly different style of self-defense techniques for kids.
Boxing is it's a great way to defend yourself, and we don't stress anything like going to pick fights, obviously, but you want to be able to know how to defend yourself. But it just gives them some confidence on how to handle themselves, how to carry themselves, and if push came to shove, knowing what to do.
Matthew Farhat teaches 2 classes to kids. Junior Jayco's is a class for elementary school kids, and Jayco's Middies is a class designed for middle schoolers. On average, there are about 15 kids in each class.
There's maybe a couple that I know that have dealt with bullying issues and wanted to come in, and the parents have told me they wanted more confidence and how to better deal with those situations.
And the longer students do it, the better their instincts become.
They're going to learn how to keep their hands up in self-defense. They're going to learn how to duck and avoid punches as well. In fact, I actually just spoke with one of the fathers the other day, and he was telling me that one of the other students came at his kid and he pivoted off just like one of our drill works. He didn't end up punching anyone, but he actually did one of our drill, and applied it.
Daniel and his mother are glad he knew how to defend himself when he needed it and recommend it to others.
And I would say, if your kids are thinking about it, definitely let them try it, especially girls. I think a lot of people think it's not for girls, even though I happen to have 2 boys. Definitely let your girls try it.
Now, these are just 2 of the classes out of dozens that are available across the Suncoast. So parents, if you're interested in enrolling your kids in a self-defense class, you have plenty to choose from. Now, your child could be being bullied and you may not even know it, because according to statistics, only about 20% of kids tell their parents when they're being bullied. Reporting in Sarasota, Jess Dowdrick, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Coming up on the Trapezoid, a parent, a kid, and 2 instructors. We'll be back with our roundtable.
This is important news for women who were administered chemotherapy intravenously for breast cancer and then suffered permanent hair loss. Some women administered the breast cancer chemotherapy drug Taxotere have suffered from permanent hair loss on scalp, eyebrows, and eyelashes. If you suffered permanent hair loss after chemotherapy for breast cancer, call the law offices of Davis & Crump right now to find out if you are eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Call now. Operators are standing by.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC7 wherever you are, on our live stream, on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android.
School kids on the Suncoast got an unexpected early vacation this week, but as soon as schools reopen next week after the Irma cleanup, it will be back to work and in some cases back to the reality where some kids are subjected to bullying. It's an age-old problem, and some families are turning to centuries-old techniques to defend themselves, the martial arts and boxing. Joining us for more is Mandy Sands, whose son is taking self-defense lessons. Her son Daniel, Matthew Farhart, an instructor at the Jayco Boxing in Sarasota, and Sonny Parlin, an instructor at Gracie in Bradenton. Thank you all for joining us today. And Daniel, I was, boy, that story that your mom told in Jess's report was so incredible. And let me start by asking you, prior to that one incident, did you have any problems with bullying, or did any of your friends that led you to take some of these lessons?
I had no friends that really led me to take to any of the lessons, but I definitely seen around this, like my old schools, I've seen lots of kids getting bullied, and yeah, it's just.
Let me ask you this: after that incident, did it get around that this is one kid that you don't want to mess with?
Kinda. Like kids were talking about this, they were walking up to me, and some kids were congratulating me and telling me I did the right thing because things spill at school. So it spills like that. Like
now, after that one incident, you went straight to the principal's office and reported what happened. But Mandy, when I listen to the story, the obvious question might be, you want your kid to be able to defend themselves, but if they get into some kind of physical confrontation. You know how it works in many schools. Principals may not be, might say both sides are wrong and then take some kind of action.
Yeah, he got in trouble from the school perspective, but I'll say as a parent, I was proud of my son for defending himself and somebody else who wasn't able to defend themselves. I've always taught my kids that I don't want them starting a fight, but at the same time I felt like in this instance it was very justified. The school took the stance that he had to be suspended because of a county policy. I will say that, the principal said that she understood why he did what he did, but that she had to take a no tolerance sort of policy. I took him out to lunch. I was proud of him for doing what he did. Again, I don't support violence that's not necessary, but I taught my kid to defend himself and other people that can't defend themselves, and I would stand by that 100%.
Matthew and Sonny, here's the real question. The kids that you have coming in order to learn how to defend themselves because of issues like this, do they usually come in before or after there's a problem?
A lot of times it's after, unfortunately. But fortunately, because they're coming, they didn't get too hurt, and they want to learn. So it's a good thing that they show up. But yeah, usually unfortunately it's because of an incident that already happened.
Matthew, same question.
I would say that ratio is about right. I think of all the youths that come in, a greater percentage are being preemptive. They want to work on self-confidence, fitness, learning how to defend themselves. But the percentage that does come in regard specifically to bullying, yeah, the first step has already happened. They have been bullied already.
The one interesting little tidbit that you had in Jess's story is that you had a situation where a kid was able to use a technique he learned in boxing that was really basically not throwing any punches, but to avoid a physical contact. So you don't know, you always, in terms of boxing, always have to hit back. You in many cases can just know how to move.
I would say that's the case. Even from the sounds of Daniel's story, it sounded like he was able to diffuse the situation without actually throwing a punch. And in the case of the child that was working with me, he was able to stop that bullying from happening by showing, hey, I know what I'm doing. Do you know what you're doing? Okay.
We are just getting warmed up on this topic. We'll have much more right after we check on First Alert weather, so stay with us.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabein.com.
What if you had a medical emergency away from home?
My chest hurts. I can't breathe.
What you need is Mobile Help, America's premier mobile medical alert system. Most systems only work at home, but with Mobile Help, you get help outside the home with coverage nationwide on one of the largest cellular networks at the press of a button. Call the number on your screen for a free full-color brochure. We'll send you everything you need, including this base station, the patented mobile device, and the waterproof pendant and wrist button. You can also add the fall button that automatically detects falls and signals help. Call today and receive a risk-free 30-day trial. There is no equipment to buy and no long-term contract. For a limited time, you will also receive a free emergency key box with your plan purchase. Remember, Mobile Help keeps you safe coast to coast.
Call 1-800-916-8638. That's 1-800-916-8638.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
Our conversation on bullying and self-defense continues right after we get a check on the First Alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Alan, taking a look at a beautiful day today to get things cleaned up around town. 2 days in a row typically doesn't happen after a hurricane moves through, especially here in Florida. Showers and thunderstorms usually accompany the aftermath of a hurricane. So we've had 2 good days, really. Tomorrow, maybe a few more storms around as some moisture moves in from the south. You can see some of that moisture down south here of us, over Cuba, over the Bahamas. It's all kind of drifting in our general direction, so we'll keep a chance for a few isolated cells in the morning. Better chance for some scattered thunderstorms. It's not going to be an all-day rain event and not over a widespread area either, but we will see some around. There's nothing going around right now, and it'll stay that way through this evening. Things looking pretty good. Well, Irma is gone. It's just a little bit of a low-pressure system right there heading off to the northeast. It was around for 2 weeks coming off the coast of Africa. And it has a lot of dry air entrained in it, and you can see that dry air has kind of shifted off to the north and west of us right now as that moisture makes a little bit of a comeback. Evening planner looks good. We'll see fair skies, 79 degrees. We'll be on the warmer side at 11 o'clock. We started off at 70 this morning, which was a little bit below average, maybe a little warmer tomorrow morning. The heat index still at this hour at 90 and 83 the actual temperature. Winds are out of the west-southwest at 5 miles an hour. The high today was a little bit below average because of some increased cloud cover. Also, the water temperatures cooled down to 83 degrees because of Irma. And the low this morning was 70 and well above average for the rainfall. Look at the 15-plus deficit for the year now. We're 15 inches above average. Statewide temperatures 80 degrees in Pensacola, 85 in Miami now, and temperatures here a little bit warmer inland. Sebring at 89, same in Avon Park, and 84 now in Venice. The forecast tomorrow, as I mentioned, a few isolated storms in the morning and then scattered storms in the late afternoon and evening as that sea breeze develops. And Jose is out there. It's slipping back to where it was. It's moving to the south now. It's being sheared too, so we're not too concerned about it. The 75-mile-an-hour winds making it just a Category 1 storm, expected to turn into a tropical storm and head off in between Bermuda and the United States. So that's a well-behaved storm right there. We'll take that one. Here's the forecast for boating tomorrow. Winds out of the east turning to the northwest at 10 knots. A light chop out there. Seas, again, running less than 2 feet. Water temperature at 83. The UV index tomorrow will be at 10. There'll be a few morning storms around as well. High tide upcoming Sarasota Bay, 9:45. And sunset at 7:37, just in 6 minutes from now. Partly cloudy, warm and dry, 76 for your low. Tomorrow, look for a 40% chance for storms, a little bit more on Friday, and then a nice weekend ahead. We deserve it. 88 for a high, both on Saturday and Sunday. Alan will be right back after this. Stick around.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop head that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
Welcome back. We are talking about bullying in the schools and part of the art of self-defense. And joining us for more is Mandy Sands, whose son is taking self-defense lessons. Her son Daniel, Matthew Farhart, an instructor at Jayco Boxing in Sarasota, and Sonny Parlin, an instructor at Gracie in Bradenton. And Daniel, let me ask you again, how many of your friends or even classmates in school, what percentage of them do you think take lessons, whether it's boxing or martial arts or something like that, for the same reasons that you do?
I can't tell you the exact percentage, but a very low amount. I feel like kids should take more self-defense classes so they know how to defend themselves and not getting in the fight. It doesn't always have to be throwing punches. You can just, again, when he said, you can learn how to shove them out of the way in order to get out of the bathroom or wherever you're getting trapped in.
How often do you see conflicts like this in your school?
Pretty often.
And what, what's the basis of it? I mean, my son just graduated high school. He would see things like this all the time. But we've all been there. But what are you seeing these days in terms of the root cause of bullying and why kids are doing this?
Mainly social media. That's definitely a big part of what causes bullying, and just social media and kids shoving other kids around, or it can be really stupid things that can be fixed.
Mandy, this is something that, as I said at the outset, is age old, but when you're talking about social media, and it really kind of explodes the ability to disseminate things about other people in good and bad ways.
It does, and unfortunately a lot of kids are sitting behind their desks or their phones now, and they have no filter. They think that they can just say something about another kid, and it starts off, I think a lot of times they send it to one friend or a small group of friends, and before you know it, it's all over the school. Last year my kids dealt with that in a very personal way. Where Daniel actually ended up in a situation where one kid got mad at him, and before you knew it, it was through a bunch of kids, and kids don't think what they're saying to one group, and then before you know it, kids show up at school in a mob-like mentality wanting to throw punches, and they don't think about it. And in all honesty, I think that my kids who know how to defend themselves carry themselves now in a much more confident way, where they don't feel like they have to go and throw a punch because they feel confident enough about themselves and who they are and what their body is doing, that they don't feel like they have to just go and randomly get in fights with people. Not a funny story, but last year other kids, I don't know whether they knew that my other son was related to Daniel or not, but they actually asked my son Kyle to beat up this child. And it was like a joke. I'm thinking, what, are you kidding me? I mean, kids are now soliciting other kids to beat kids up on their behalf. It's ridiculous, because kids just think we're just going to throw a punch here, but more confident kids have that confidence to say, I don't need to get in a fight with you.
Sunny and Matthew, how young are you seeing kids coming in there, in terms of their parents wanting to basically give kids this kind of education and training?
We get them as early as 5.
In my experience, I've had more the middle school age are the ones that are dealing more specifically with confidence issues or dealing with bullying. A lot of my elementary, especially my early elementary, are just more there for the fitness component, the confidence component, the ability to improve themselves without the worry of it being a competition, and just making themselves better. And I'm developing those habits with our different drills and making it a game. I'm sure the same way Sonny does.
Yeah,
but for the middle schoolers, it's more, hey, I want to learn how to be able to defend myself and all of that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, for the 5-year-olds and the 6-year-olds, it's just games to them. They don't even understand that they're learning to fight. It's not until they reach his age that they start to realize that what they're doing is actually
Well, I would
useful.
imagine you have clients who are there for a number of different reasons, including athletic reasons, and they're going to go and they're going to take jiu-jitsu or they're going to box and eventually, compete in that way. But here's the real question here is, and I don't know, tell me if you can train people to defend themselves specifically from bullying and things like that, as opposed to training in the martial arts or in boxing the way it has always been done. Is there a difference?
You can. And I'll tell you, I'm sorry, but I know you were talking to them, but my other son, I'll tell you, he was specifically put in this because he was a very small child who was ripe to get bullied. He was a very quiet child. He's not a fighter. He's not a fighter at all. And I just wanted him to have the confidence not to get bullied. And he's now grown into a very strong young man who's very confident. he has no intention of going and starting a fight with anybody. But he is now so confident. He's the one who the other kids asked to beat up this kid, and he's not going to hurt anybody. But he's now sort of, I don't want to say bully-proof, but he walks around with a certain confidence, a certain air about him that he's putting himself out there as, don't mess with me, you know.
So is the training different for a young person who wants to go into boxing or martial arts athletically, as opposed to somebody who is there to learn important skills in terms of self-defense and preventing bullying?
It's all, in my opinion, it's all the same. We teach the kids pretty much all the same stuff. We teach them how to defend themselves, and if they want to get into competitions and do that, they can. It's fine, but we don't force them to. So they can come, and what they're going to learn is they're going to learn self-defense. But if they want to take it further than that, that's great. We'll help them do that too.
Yeah, the proper technique for, you know, a chokehold or a proper punch or whatever it may be is going to be the same whether you're learning self-defense or whether you're learning fitness. So both of us are going to use those same tools to teach them. But going off of what Manny said, a big deal for us is, at least for our side, and I'm sure with Sonny as well, is that fitness component as well. When you are more confident and you are developing those good habits, it does make you a little more bully-proof. It makes it harder to be attacked.
And you touched on this before, but have you or has anyone tried to have a conversation with the school district to say, look, I'm teaching my kid this art of self-defense, and there has to be some more appreciation of it in terms of discipline in the school?
I'm glad you bring that up. I hadn't before, but I've recently been hearing from more and more friends and just anecdotally through other people and some social network sites that I'm part of about their kids simply trying to defend themselves and them being, suspended and it causing them problems with their sports programs and other things. And I do think this is something that needs to be addressed. My kids are just now, in middle school and going to be going to high school, and it's going to have more of an effect on them. And it definitely needs to be addressed because kids are afraid to defend themselves for fear of losing sports scholarships and stuff like that. And it's terrible because kids shouldn't be afraid of that.
We have to take a quick break, and we're going to return for final thoughts right when we return.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $10 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand, with no surprises, and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received J.D. Power Awards for highest customer service. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKX Sport Utility for $349 per month, or Lincoln's flagship, the 2017 Continental, for $449 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Sun Coast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Bullying and self-defense. Our guests join us right now for final thoughts. And Sonny, you wanted to make a point when I asked the question about whether the school districts have an appreciation for kids who want to learn how to defend themselves.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan at all of these zero tolerance policies. And I just saw an infuriating video of a girl who was walking down the hallway, and she was getting punched in the face repeatedly, and she was saying, "Nope, I'm not going to get suspended for you. Nope, I'm not going to get suspended for you," as she was walking down the hallway, taking punch after punch in the face until she finally got to an adult, and an adult stepped in. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
And Matthew, you were a teacher for a couple of years?
Yeah, I was a teacher for a couple of years, and the biggest thing that I agree that those zero tolerance policies can be a little difficult. I think the theme, though, of why we're being proactive with self-defense courses, whether it's going to their training or either of our gyms to learn self-defense, it's to put the onus on us, and as for Daniel and whoever, to kind of control the environment. And yes, it'd be great for the school districts to do this, that, and the other, but what we should work on controlling, I think, is us and each other. So if we can develop more confident individuals who are going to be able to defend themselves and not get caught up in that, then it'll be great.
You know, Daniel, I'm thinking about a line from Spider-Man: "With great power comes great responsibility." You have these skills now, but, you know, is every kid out there mature enough to know when to use them and when not to?
No, I have lots of friends that have gotten bullied or that are getting bullied right now, but they shouldn't be afraid just to not step in. Like, they should go to, like, maybe give a school a call or something, and they should take one of the classes.
Right. And Mandy, the same question to you. I mean, you have an extraordinary young man there, but I would imagine that there could be situations out there that kids take what they have learned and use them in situations that are not appropriate.
That's absolutely right. I think that part of learning self-defense is going to a credible school with good instructors where they're going to get the leadership that they need. I think that's a big part of it. And, you know, I think that parents need to make sure that they check out the school and make sure it's a good, reputable school.
We have to leave it there. FYI, you can watch past discussions. They're on demand. They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. We want to thank all our guests for being here tonight. Mandy Sands, whose son is taking self-defense lessons. Her son Daniel, Matthew Farhart, an instructor at Jayco Boxing in Sarasota, and Sonny Parlin, an instructor at Gracie Bradenton. When we return, we'll have a final look at your first alert weather, plus the death toll from Hurricane Irma is rising. What is being done to prevent more deaths from happening? Stay with us.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill, I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Hi, I'm Joan London with A Place for Mom. Over the years, we've helped thousands of families find senior care, and today's senior living communities have never been better, with amazing amenities like movie theaters, exercise rooms and swimming pools, public cafes, bars and bistros, even pet care services. And nobody understands your options like the advisors at A Place for Mom. These are local expert advisors that will partner with you to find the perfect place and determine the right level of care, whether that's just a helping hand or full-time memory care. Best of all, it's a free service. Call today. A Place for Mom. You know your family, we know senior living. Together, we'll make the right choice.
Call A Place for Mom right now to get our free ebook on financing senior care, as well as a free referral for senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-290-0352. That's 1-800-290-0352.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
The ABC7 First Alert Hurricane Guide arms you with vital information to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit. Visit mysuncoast.com and download yours today.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in a moment, but right now let's get a final check on our First Alert forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. A pretty decent sunset tonight. It has occurred. It's coming
sooner and sooner now as a result of obviously getting closer to the end of summer, but we're not at the end of hurricane season. Goes through November 30th. And over the past 150 years, we've had 39 strikes by hurricanes in the state of Florida in the month of September. But October, we've had just as many, just about 36. So we have to keep an eye on the tropical season, especially in October for the west coast of Florida. You can see some activity down to our south. Some showers starting to develop now. So something we haven't seen recently across the state since Irma made its way through it. So we'll see more and more, I think, showers and storms popping up over the next couple of days, and then things calm down over the weekend as some drier air will again slip in our way. But that dry air now is exiting to the north and west of us right now. It's kind of backing off. The remnants of what was Irma now continues to spin toward the northeast, drawing some cooler weather down too into places like Chicago and Wisconsin and also into Ohio tonight. There's that little bit of moisture. You can see it down to our south. Little trough axis is set up behind Irma right across the state, but there's no moisture around, really significant moisture to cause any significant problems. Right now, 70. We're expecting 79 by 11 o'clock tonight, just a few clouds around. And currently, with a nice sky out there, it's 83. But the heat index, unfortunately, still at 90 at this hour because of the lack of rain to cool things down. The winds are out of the west-southwest at 5. The forecast tomorrow does call for a few isolated storms around in the morning, and then we'll see a better chance late in the afternoon. And Jose continues to spin out there in the Atlantic, but the news on Jose looking better for us. It doesn't appear to have an impact on the states as it makes its way eventually off toward the open waters of the Atlantic, missing both Bermuda and the U.S. Well, here's the forecast for boaters. As it stands tomorrow, we'll have seas running 2 feet or less with a light chop out there. East and northeast winds, water temperature at 83 degrees, UV index will be at 10. And tides upcoming, 9:45, sunset just occurring. And looks like a nice night tonight, just warm and dry, 76 for a low. Tomorrow, look for a 40% chance for isolated showers in the morning, scattered in the afternoon, 50% chance for Friday. And then a beautiful weekend ahead. Al will be back with primetime headlines right after this.
Consumer Cellular makes it easy to stay in touch with family and stay within our budget.
Now our cell phone bill is only a fraction of what it used to be.
Our average customers get everything they need for about $25 a month, and plans start at only $10 a month with no contracts.
Consumer Cellular has a great choice of phones. Check out my new one.
I picked this simple phone.
I use my son's old smartphone. Kept my number, too.
Consumer Cellular has been an approved AARP provider since 2008, and members get exclusive discounts.
It's a good thing Consumer Cellular is always there, because sometimes I need a little help.
Sometimes.
We're proud to have received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service among non-contract wireless providers.
Over the years, we've seen a lot of change.
We actually use change.
Luckily, there are some things we can still afford.
Like Consumer Cellular.
Stop paying too much for wireless service. Switch to Consumer Cellular. And with our 30-day risk-free guarantee, it's easy. Call 1-800-920-3084. Go online or visit a Target store today.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251. 800-628-1251.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Checking our primetime headlines, police in South Florida are investigating the deaths of at least 6 elderly people at the nursing home that was reportedly having power issues after Hurricane Irma. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez is in Naples with the latest on that and more.
Sweltering heat and no air conditioning blamed for at least 8 deaths at this nursing home in Hollywood, Florida. A dozen other residents rushed to the emergency room just across the street.
The police don't talk the people, they outside.
The entire facility evacuated, a criminal investigation now open. Police looking into why these senior citizens weren't taken to safety sooner.
We depend on those people in those facilities to care for our most vulnerable elderly population, and it's really sad when something like this goes on.
At another assisted living facility, this one in North Miami, 80 patients evacuated today.
With the staff inside, they realized that one of the generators had failed, the second generator wasn't working properly, so they decided to start evacuating everybody.
While millions wait for power companies to restore service throughout Florida, there are more dangers with the misuse of generators. In Bonita Springs, 20 people, including 13 children, hospitalized for possible carbon monoxide poisoning. And in Orlando, a generator running in the garage poisoned and killed 3 family members.
The SAD meter is 1 to 10. This is an 11.
Sadness and now desperation growing in the Caribbean, hard hit by Irma.
We don't have food or water or places to go.
And in the Keys, where FEMA says 90% of homes are damaged or destroyed, residents are returning.
I didn't expect it to be this bad, honestly.
Slowly starting to clean up. And President Trump is traveling here to Florida. He plans to meet with the Coast Guard, FEMA, and first responders when he visits this area tomorrow. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Naples, Florida.
Hillary Clinton is back on TV everywhere with her take on why she lost the election. The name of her new book, What Happened? She was on The View today.
My best efforts to figure it out, to be as open, candid, self-reflective as possible, and it was really hard.
Clinton's book was released on Tuesday and is available online and at bookstores nationwide. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us and have a good night.